Welcome to SATV News. This is Kazi Farhana with your headlines. Chief Advisor calls for a resilient generation to tackle future challenges. Improving treatment services for NC is crucial but not enough, says Dr. Yunus. BNP announces 6-day program to celebrate 47th founding anniversary. Country pushed into a blind alley of conspiracy once again, says Rizvi. Maulana Bhashaner Bridge inaugurated in Gaibandha after a long wait. Residents on both banks await. Now in details. Chief Advisor Dr. Muhammad Yunus today underscored the need for developing a resilient generation, stressing that effective human resource management is vital for ensuring both individual well-being and the nation's sustainable progress. He made the remarks while speaking at the signing ceremony of the joint declaration aimed at strengthening interministerial cooperation for integrated actions in the prevention and control of non-communicable diseases. For national development and progress, skilled and efficient human resources are essential. Without proper human resource management, neither individual well-being nor national advancement can be achieved. He also said at an event held at the Shopla Hall of the Chief Advisor's office in Dhaka. Besides, he said, non-communicable diseases are steadily increasing across almost all countries, with the situation in Bangladesh being particularly critical due to its socio-economic challenges, dense populations and limited geographical space. Citing the World Health Organization's 2022 report, he highlighted that 71% of all deaths in Bangladesh are caused by non-communicable diseases. He further emphasized that improving treatment services for NCDs is crucial but not enough. BNP today announced a 6-day program including rallies and discussions to celebrate its 47th founding anniversary on September 1st. BNP Standing Committee member Nazrul Islam Khan announced the programs at a press conference at the party's Neapolitan Central Office. As per the announcement, the party will arrange discussions at the Institutions of Engineers, Bangladesh on August 31 in observance of the day. On September 1st, the party flag will be hoisted atop the Neapolitan Central Office and all other BNP offices across the country in the morning. The leaders and activists of BNP and its associates bodies will place wreaths and offer Fatiha at the grave of its founder Zia Rahman in the capital at 11 a.m., led by Party Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir. On September 2nd, a rally will be brought out in front of the BNP's Neapolitan Central Office to mark the anniversary. BNP's all upazilas and municipality units will hold rallies and discussions on September 3rd. Meanwhile, in the same program, BNP's Senior Joint Secretary General Ruhul Kabir Rizvi has claimed that the country has once again been pushed into a blind alley of conspiracy, warning of the depending threats to democracy and national sovereignty. Meanwhile, BNP Secretary General Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir returned home today after being released from United Hospital in the capital. On Tuesday evening, Mirza Fakhrul came back to the country after receiving treatment in Thailand. He later joined a meeting at the BNP chairperson's office in Gulshan that continued until 11 p.m. During the meeting, he fell ill and was admitted to the hospital later that night. BNP Standing Committee member Professor Dr. AZM Zahid Hussain took him to the hospital. Doctors later confirmed in the morning that BNP Secretary General's health is now stable. Supreme Court today, for the fourth consecutive day, heard appeals against a High Court verdict that acquitted BNP Acting Chairman Tariq Rahman, former State Minister for Home Affairs Lutfuzzaman Babar, and others in the August 21st grenade attack case. A 6-member appellate division bench led by Chief Justice Saad Rifat Ahmed adjourned the proceedings and will resume the hearing on Thursday. During today's hearing, Defense Counsel S.M. Shahjahan argued that there was no evidence linking the accused to the attack, its planning, or their presence at the scene. He said that without last year's political changeover, none of the detainees would have been released, noting that all were freed following the shift on August 5 last year. Mr. Shahjahan urged the Apex Court to uphold the High Court verdict that cleared the accused.
রাষ্ট্রপক্ষ তাদের
Environment, Forest and Climate Change Advisor Sada Rizwana Hassan said wherever she turned, there's a problem. Since that she took the charge, 12 elephants have died. She also said several initiatives have been taken, including forming anti-depredation squads, elephant response team and elephant rescue teams near elephant reserves to strengthen conservation efforts. She made this remarkable history today during a discussion at the Forest Department headquarters to mark World Elephant Day 2025. Rizwana Hassan stressed that the importance of the ending that use of the elephants for entertainment and profit. She said the interim government is taking several measures to protect elephants, including restoring natural forests and establishing elephant sanctuaries. During the World Elephant Day discussions, experts highlighted that wildlife conservation still lacks political priority. They emphasized that relying on studies over 10 years old is not sufficient for elephant conservation. The Maulana Bhashani Bridge, earlier known as the Tista Bridge, constructed over on the Tista River to connect Kurigram and Gaibandha districts, has been officially inaugurated today. The launch has sparked jubilation among the residents on the both banks of the Tista River, who had long awaited the project's completion. Asif Mahmood, Rajiv Bhuya, advisor to the local government, rural development and cooperatives ministry, accompanied by Saudi guests, inaugurated the bridge at 12:45 p.m. The 1,490-meter long PC Grader Bridge has been constructed over the Tista River between Horipur Khiaghat under Sundarganj Upazila of Gaibandha and Chilmari Khiaghat under Chilmari Upazila of Kurigram. The bridge will reduce travel distance between the two districts by over 100 kilometers. A Chinese contractor built the bridge under LZAD supervision with financial assistance from the Saudi Development Foundation. The total construction cost stood at Dhaka 885 crore. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back to watching SATV News. News from abroad. At least 35 Palestinians, including 10 people seeking food aid, were killed in attacks by Israeli forces across Gaza Wednesday dawn, said medical sources. Several explosions were heard and seen from Khan Yunis in southern Gaza earlier in the morning. It comes a day after Israel said it was studying the response by the Palestinian militant group Hamas to a proposal for a 60-day ceasefire and release of half the hostages still held in Gaza. Meanwhile, thousands of Gazans have been moving south and west from the Gaza city, fearing an imminent Israeli ground offensive. And earlier in the day, an Israeli military official said that 50,000 reservists would be called up ahead of the push. According to the Israeli official, most forces that should operate in the enclave's largest urban center would be active duty soldiers. Israel's genocide on Gaza has killed at least 62,064 people and wounded 156,573 since October 7, 2023. A traffic accident in Afghanistan's western Herat province killed at least 71 people, including 17 children, on Tuesday night, said provincial government spokesperson Ahmadullah Muttaqi. The bus was carrying deported migrants to Kabul and caught fire after colliding with a truck and motorcycle, Muttaqi said. All migrants deported from Iran are transferred to their provinces by buses, and this was one of those. He said in an audio statement. Muttaqi shared the video on X, adding that firefighters arrived at the scene a short time after but were not able to save the victims. Pakistan declared a public holiday in Karachi on Wednesday on the financial capital braced for more rain after the arrival of the annual monsoon season left at least 7 people dead and caused widespread flooding, said officials. The monsoon has brought havoc across Pakistan in recent days, with the death toll from flash floods that struck the mountainous northwest on Friday rising to 377. In Karachi, at least 7 people have died since the rains began in the southern port city on Tuesday, said a provincial government spokesperson. Meanwhile, authorities ordered educational institutions and offices to shut. Tuesday's rain was recorded between 80 millimeters and 178 millimeters in different parts of the city. The heavy downpour also disrupted power, mobile phone services and flights. Meanwhile, torrential rains across the state of Maharashtra in western India caused widespread damage and triggered waterlogging and floods on Tuesday, leaving at least 4 people died, says official. Mumbai, the country's financial capital, saw severe waterlogging while a swollen Godavari River unleashed a deluge and flooded the state, destroying homes and forcing residents onto the streets. India's weather office has issued flood and heavy rain alerts for the next 24 hours across several coastal districts of the state. At least 14 people, including a family with 3 children, were wounded in an overnight Russian attack on Ukraine's northern region of Sumy, said Ukraine's Prime Minister on Wednesday. Russia launched 15 drones in an assault on the Oktaria area in the early hours of Wednesday, local prosecutors said on the Telegram app. The children injured in the attack, which struck a residential neighborhood in the town, were aged 5 months, 4 years and 6 years, Prime Minister Yulia Sviridenko wrote on X. The strike took place at a time of intense efforts by U.S. President Donald Trump to bring an end to the Russian war in Ukraine. The White House said on Tuesday that the United States can assist in the coordination of security guarantees for Ukraine and that President Donald Trump has directed his national security team to work with Europe. The president has definitely stated U.S. boats will not be on the ground in the Ukraine, but U.S. can certainly help in the coordination and provide other means of security guarantees to our European allies, said White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt. Air support was an option being looked at added. Earlier on Tuesday, Donald Trump ruled out placing American soldiers in Ukraine and gave no specifics about the security guarantees. He has previously said Washington could offer Kyiv under any post-war settlement.
And President Putin himself said that, by the way. Haley.
Hey, thanks, Caroline.
Iran and Belarus have pledged to deepen bilateral cooperation and accelerate the implementation of existing agreements following a state visit by President Masoud Pezeshkian to his Belarus counterpart, President Alexander Lukashenko, on Wednesday. The meeting marked the start of the Pezeshkian's official visit to Belarus following his meetings in Armenia with the country's top leadership after Erev's recent signing of the historic new peace treaty backed by the U.S. retaliated in the honor of President Donald Trump. The two trips were allegedly pre-planned as part of Iran's growing integration with the Eurasian Economic Union following the implementation of a preferential trade agreement between Tehran and several former Soviet states in 2024, which includes Armenia and Belarus. The two leaders stressed their countries' shared positions on regional and international issues, including opposition to Western sanctions and unilateralism, with Belarus ready to discuss any issues with Iran ranging from the cooperation in food supplies to the defense technology sector. Lukashenko said. Pezeshkian described Iran and Belarus as aligned, calling for a serious cooperation in international forums such as the EU and the Shanghai Cooperation Organizations and BRICS. North Korea's Kim Yo-jong, sister of leader Kim Jong-un, said South Korea and its president Lee Jae-myung had a dual personality by talking about wanting to pursue peace while continuing joint military drills with the U.S. reported state media KCNA on Wednesday. South Korea and its ally, the United States, kicked off joint military drills this week, including testing an upgraded response to heightened North Korea's nuclear threats. Pyongyang regularly criticized such drills as rehearsals for invasion and sometimes responses with weapons tests, but Seoul and Washington say they are purely defensive. Lee this week ordered the cabinet prepare to partial step-by-step implementation of existing agreements with North Korea, and South Korea has begun removing loudspeakers that had been blaring the anti-North Korea broadcast along the border. Lee Jae-myung is not the sort of man who will change the course of the history of confrontational ambition, Kim further said, according to KCNA. A member of Irish rap group Kidnapped was welcomed by hundreds of supporters as he arrived at the London court on Wednesday, charged with a terrorism offense of allegedly displaying a flag in support of Iran-backed Lebanese militia Hezbollah. Liam Ogo Hanaldia, who was initially charged under the Anglicized name of Liam Ohama, is alleged to have waved the flag of the banned militant group Hezbollah during a cleanup gig in London in November 2024. The 27-year-old was charged in May under the Terrorism Act, under which it is a criminal offense to display an article in a way which arouses reasonable suspicion that someone is a supporter of a prescribed organization. Wednesday's hearing at Westminster Magistrates Court only expected to deal with the Old Hanadia's argument that the charge was brought too late and should be thrown out, foiling which he is likely to formally enter a play. Belfasted, the kneecap who rapped in the Irish and English and regularly displayed pro-Palestinian messages during their gigs, previously said the flag had been thrown on stage and described the charge as an attempt to silence them. Before ending, we go to the headlines again. Chief Advisor calls for a resilient generation to tackle future challenges. Improving treatment services for incidents crucial but not enough, says Dr. Yunus. BNP announces 6-day program to celebrate 47th founding anniversary. Country pushed into a blind alley of conspiracy once again, says Rizvi. Maulana Bhashanir Bridge inaugurated in Gaibandha after long wait. Residents on both banks away. We're updated with our top 3 so far here on SATV, and to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.